Would you look at that? I believe we're right on time. That's not always the case. How you guys doing today? We just got back home. I bought a guitar used on Craigslist. You're going to be seeing it this weekend. You're going to be very surprised at the guitar. You're going to be very surprised, but it's for good reason. A lot of people have asked for this, so I have to wait and see. As I come through to your guys' screams, please let me know you're in the chat. I see James is in there. Waiting patiently for you and Dave to go tooling up for midnight and the approaching snow. Got to stock up on good vibes before the winter blow. That would work. And I understand the reference. However, I live in Florida, dude. I don't got to worry about anything. I'm just fine. Dave's the one that's going to be freezing his butt off. And I don't feel bad for him. Not in one minute fragment of me. You choose to live up there, that's what you deal with. You deal with the snow. Hey, Max, how's it going? Man, that was a fun drive. I normally do not like bridges. And because in San Diego, we had this gigantor bridge we'd have to drive over that was like a roller coaster. And a lot of people used to jump off of it when they weren't happy with their lives. It was huge, the Coronado Bridge. So this bridge is the first time me going over it. It was a little baby bridge. I was like, oh, this is great. Hello, Hugh. Hey, Vanya. Bite me. No, I won't do that. You choose to live in the Northeast. You can deal with the consequences of that, and that is the weather. So that's all on you guys today. He's still mad about it. Oh, man. So I'll tell you guys something funny. One of the people in the comments section, hey Thomas, how's it going? Were complaining that the Harley Benton came with a Poplar body, and it was a $140 guitar. I really can't wait to see what he says when the Silver Sky SE, when he realizes that has a Poplar body as well. Ooh, that guitar, man. You're going to hear a lot of people praising this as the greatest guitar ever. And I'm not saying it's not going to be, but there's a few things in that design that make me say, I'm not so sure about this. Be interesting to see the reception from the normal people, not the paid YouTubers, on what they really think about the SE Silver Sky. But when I saw it had a Poplar body, I was like, ooh, they really cut costs there. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with that wood, but I mean, it's the cheapest wood for a reason. So it's, yeah, that. Not sure what they did with the pickups on it. I know they changed the radius of the fretboard, and it's only rosewood, not maple. So I guess for some people it could be the end of the world with that because they like maple, not rosewood. Maybe they'll give the option at some point later, but they have to remember when the first Silver Skies came out, the core line, they didn't come with maple. It took them, I think, 1.5 years, 2 years to make a Silver Sky that had a maple neck on it. So I mean, you can't expect them to nail everything dead on to the core. Otherwise, there's not going to be a reason for people to go out and buy the core. Can't make it too good. Oh, the shills are always out in full force. The shills are always out in full force. Now, I'll tell you another funny thing that happened this morning. So, you guys wouldn't know this unless you have a YouTube channel with over 1,000 subscribers. But anytime that somebody leaves a comment and they have like more subscribers than that, like it gets like pushed to the very top of everything on my little information bar. So I click it and I was like, who's this? Harley Benton made a comment on the DNAFX Pro demo, but I can't see it because it's gone. So all I can see is Harley Benton saying, hey Dave, thanks for ... and nothing else. I clicked the comment to see what they said and to respond to it, and it ain't there anymore. So I'm not sure what happened with that, why they would delete a comment like that, or what they could have potentially said. All I know is that Dave, at the end of the video, I mean, he didn't pull punches. He did say that he really wouldn't recommend the product, so maybe that had something to do with it. But I just found that very, very funny that they commented and now it's gone. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you're not going to love everything. And I guess that's part of the charm of this place, this little channel that I've created here. I don't love everything. And when I don't love something, I tell you I don't love something because I have no vested interest. I don't care. And they don't pay me. Why put 8.5-inch radius? Never seen that before. I don't know. I thought it would be easier to either use the standard 10-inch radius that they use on the majority of the PRS models, or like a 9 or a 9.5. 8.5 is just it's strange for the sake of being strange, if that makes any sense, because I don't see a logical explanation for that. Just seems weird. I don't know. I just answer. I don't know. I really can't wrap my head around why. I don't think it's a big deal. I just think it's awkward. I can't think of another guitar that has an 8.5-inch radius. Not off the top of my head, I can't. Especially a mass-produced one. I'm sure there's maybe some small luthiers and builders that would do that, but not normal. Not normal. It's either 7.25, 8, or 7.25, 9, 9.5, or 10, or 12 if you're Gibson. And then you get into the crazy people. All the metal guitars are super flat, like up to 20 or something like that. But I don't really dip my toes too much into that area of the market. But it's Paul. It's Paul Reed Smith. That guy, he does that a lot. He does that a lot. If they deal with Henning, they shouldn't have a problem. Yeah, but I understand that logic of it, but they have a 10-inch radius fretboard they use. And that's not too dissimilar from a modern Fender 9.5. So why go out of your way to make your own unique neck carve? That's what I don't get. That's weird to me. I'd like to see when they do their product reveal, because I'll watch the PRS product reveal. I'm not going to watch any of the YouTubers. I'll watch the PRS one to see if maybe they explain why they chose that and why they chose Poplar. Because I don't really have a problem with Poplar. A lot of people are really tone snobby with that stuff, but I mean, we had that GFS body that was Poplar, the double bound seafoam green with the high-end Fralin pickups in it and a really nice Fender neck. It sounded fine. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, this sounds like garbage because the wood is made of Poplar. No. I still sounded like myself when I played it. I think we get a little too carried away with specifications. But I guess really what it comes down to is what they're going to price this thing at. That's going to have a lot to say too. Because the only expensive guitars that use that wood don't even primarily use that wood. Those would be 339s and 335s from Gibson, but those are Poplar maple on the bodies themselves. It's not like it's just Poplar. I believe Mayer's is the vintage. Yeah, the 7.25. Don't quote me on that, but I would think so. He's always played those kinds of strats. But for the sake of not getting it wrong, I'm going to look it up real quick. So let's go to Sweetwater. And John Mayer. John Mayer. What do you guys think about John Mayer? I've never really asked you guys. What do you think about John Mayer? Because I know some people love John Mayer and some people, like my wife, do not like John Mayer in the even the slightest. John Mayer's is a 7.25. Yeah, just like I thought. Okay. Again, that's not really surprising. That's vintage Fender radius. Underrate them. Well, that's the thing. I don't underestimate the John Mayer fan base. I really don't. He's like the last well-known. When you think of household names for guitar players, he's the last one. Like, there's a lot of guitar players that we know in the community as, like, kind of the new generation and stuff like that. But, like, if you go to a normal person's house that isn't a musician and you ask them, like, about a modern guitar player, they're all going to know John. They're not going to know the majority of the other ones. That's just how it is. I like John a lot. I don't like all of his stuff, but the stuff I do like, I really like. I think he's a great player. I think he's an absolutely great player. Wears his heart on his sleeve, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. But, I mean, nobody's perfect. So, I think he just gets a bad rap. I think there's a lot of jealousy involved with John Mayer, if I'm being totally honest. I think there's a lot of jealousy, and a lot of people will say, like, he writes bland pop songs. It's like, okay. I mean, a lot of people do that. And at least with some of his popular songs, it's you can't just pick up the guitar and play that stuff. It's not that simple. A lot of thought goes into the writing. Let me see. Like him in his songs. Heard his songs since 2009. Yeah, he's good. See, most of you guys like him. Deep inside, he wants to play blues, but he plays pop in order to survive financially. I mean, he did that for a while. He doesn't anymore. Like when he did that country record, that was him giving the middle finger big time to basically everybody. Because that record did not do well, and he did not expect that record to do well. He wanted to play that kind of music. He was in that vibe. I mean, the guy goes out and plays with the Grateful Dead. You think he does that for his wallet? There's a million other things he could do if money is the main kind of driving factor. And I think on the newer songs, I didn't buy that record, the one that has A New Light on it. From what I've heard of it, it sounds like it's definitely pop, but it's like targeted, if that makes sense. It's not like formulaically written to sell records. It's just good pop music. And I think there's a big difference between the two of those when you're writing it and you're composing it to begin with. What your intentions are when you write a song, that they can come through pretty apparent. And in John's case, I feel like it's pretty honest in that sense, as honest as pop music can be. But that's a different discussion as well, I suppose. I never saw his TV show, but he gives a lot of interesting little lessons too. Gives you a lot of little thoughts to think about in like a span of 30 seconds. And that's cool. I think that's very valuable. You know, just something that passing by, you click on something and a thought could go into your head from somebody who clearly knows about the instrument and about the theory and really like resonate with you. And then the next time you pick up your guitar, you're like, what about that? And then you might hit a breakthrough. You might have learned something that you wouldn't have learned otherwise without clicking such a small clip. And it's non-committal. Because sometimes you can look at a video and it might be somebody you're really interested in learning from, but if the video is like 45 minutes, you're going to be less likely, unless you have nothing to do, to click through it. So I think part of the appeal and a smart way to take advantage of the fact that people don't have any attention spans these days are to do those short form things like that. As long as it's not that clickbait garbage. You know, like, there's a lot of it. I don't like any of it. Yeah, Keith Urban's good too. That guy's a good singer. He's a very good singer. But it's not stuff I regularly listen to, but I appreciate it. Like, and I respect it. I think that's the thing that a lot of people have to understand. Like, you don't have to be like, I have this record on 24/7 to be like, this is good. I feel like it's almost making a parody of pop music. That's possible. Yeah, Clapton called him a genius. Clapton called him an absolute master and a genius of the instrument. I think when somebody like that says something to that magnitude about another guitar player, you kind of have to take that seriously. You have to. And the other thing where I give that a lot of kudos is because I know for a fact that they've played together several times. And when you play big shows like that, like the Crossroads shows that they used to play together, like, it wasn't just get up and play on stage and figure it out as we go along. There was rehearsals. There was a lot of other stuff going on. So as far as the workflow goes and being able to write on the fly and adapt on the fly and, you know, make space for the band and all that and fit into the song yourself, those are also skills. It's not just about your chops. And John is the full package in that sense. And Clapton recognizes that. So good for him. Not all people in that position are as gracious. Some will just say everything is garbage. Every music sucks these days, like Noel Gallagher. That guy doesn't like anything from what I read. Hey, Gavin. Gavin, have you been practicing for your rehearsal? Don't think I forgot about that. If not, that's not good. That's not good, and you know that's not good. Look, I bought a big jug of water today. So I won't have to run out at any point during this to go and get some more. last album, Solbrock, was basically an 80s Clapton sound, which I don't care for. Yeah, I didn't hear that record. The stuff I really like for him is Any Given Thursday, the live album, and Continuum. I don't think it could be argued that Continuum is a fantastic album from top to bottom, regardless of what genre you prefer or don't prefer. That was seriously good. That was seriously, undeniably good. So, yeah, and I hated John Mayer when I was younger. I did. Because I heard that basically everything on Room for Squares that was on the radio, and I was like, this is garbage. Like, I could tell that the guitar work wasn't bad on it, because you can even tell on, oh god, I don't even know the name of the song where he talks about high school. Like, there's some clever chords in there. It's not just your typical stuff. A little bit of variation to it. You're like, oh, okay, he could play a little bit. But overall, like, yeah, like the falsetto voice, the super pop to it. I didn't like John Mayer for many years. I only started to appreciate John Mayer when I saw him playing with Steve Jordan and Pino Palladino, the bass guitarist. And I was like, okay, I get it. Like, this guy can play. And I wouldn't even necessarily say he's a blues player. I think he could play the blues. But I don't see that as his heart. I listen to everything. I mean, here I am talking to you about, John Mayer and different albums like that. Like, I don't actively listen to that. So I try to listen to as much as I can so that I can have kind of an informed opinion about these things. And also, because you never know what you can learn from it. Like, there's been a lot of songs where I've picked up little things, and I still might not even like the song, but I'll hear a guitar part and I'm like, oh, that's really clever. Or an interesting way. One thing pop music does really well. Good pop music, not all pop music, but what they do really well is modulation into secondary dominance, into key changes. They do a very good job of having it come off very natural and adding a lot of depth and power to songs that wouldn't normally be there if they just stuck to the same exact kind of chord phrasings but left them in the original key. It's those little things like that make a song can really jump out, so to speak. And good pop music will do that. Good pop music will do that because they have to do it, because all those songs have been played. Everybody has heard C, G, A minor, F a gajillion times, and every variation of those four chords together and then transposed everywhere up and down the neck. That is the entire basis of what you hear. It's what's in between is what separates people, and that's a very hard genre to write, pop music. I've worked on a few pop projects. I don't know. It's definitely, it can be challenging, or it can be as challenging as you make it. You can easily take the easy way out. Nothing wrong with that. It's still going to sound good, because at the end of the day, it's about the singer. That's the thing you have to come to terms with. When you work on stuff like that, you are just secondary. You are doing everything you can to make that singer be as good as they can be. And when you can add in like cool little theory stuff, and if the singer can really feel into it too, I mean, that's a winning strategy. Country music, contrary to popular belief, there are really some good country players. I don't really listen to country music. The closest I get is some Butch Walker stuff. Yeah, that's probably the closest I would say I get to country music. Nah, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, where I grew up and where I'm from, like, I never heard that. I don't relate to it at all. I don't relate to any of the lyrics. I don't relate to the tones. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it just wasn't something I ever really developed a great interest in. For example, yeah. And I'm sure there's great ones. I mean, I can listen to Greg Koch chicken pick on a Telecaster like all day. That guy's freaking God. He's the best guitarist in the world, pound for pound. Yeah, Jim, you're right. You're right. That's exactly the way I see it too. I was telling before when I hated John Mayer, and I hated a lot of the stuff that you would hear on the radio that would be like that, and I wrote it off because I was like, this is just pop garbage. But I mean, it's really ironic to think about it like this. I'll give you a good example. One of the bands I was into for a short period of time was Rage Against the Machine, right? And I thought, like, oh, I'm like, this is cool guitar music. Like, this is really good. And then I would look down upon the kind of Mayerish or the popish stuff at the time. As I've gotten older, I can listen back to the Mayer stuff, and I'm like, oh, I mean, like, I still don't love this because it's pop, but I see more of the musicality in it. But then I listen to the Rage stuff, and I'm like, I don't like this at all. Like, I don't like any of this. Like, how did I listen to this? This didn't age well for me. Greg Koch, he did play my Gibson. That's part of the reasons I bought it. He did demo my Les Paul Standard. What Fender Strat model neck would you compare with the Harley Benton Fusion 3? The American original 60s as far as the thickness of it. Not necessarily the feel, because the American 60s neck has a nitro finish on the back of it, whereas the Harley Benton has a satin finish. But there's not many like really high-end Fenders before you get to the Custom Shop that have that same kind of satin finish on it. I mean, really then I guess the American Professional too. That's probably a little more akin if you're going for the actual feel, not just the width of it. The American Professional too was the closest one. Yeah, good music defies genre, man. Doesn't matter. If a song is good, a song is good. You know, and a song that could be shit in one genre, you have like really old popular YouTube channel, that Postmodern Jukebox. They can make all these bad, terrible, god-awful, garbage pop songs into really cool arrangements. Just, what do you want to do with it? Hey, Marcus. You took jazz guitar lessons. He was one of Miles Kennedy's students because Miles Kennedy used to be a guitar teacher in Spokane, Washington. Spokane, Washington. Never been up that way. Jazz guitar is good. I try to implement. That's tough because if I like when I do clean demos, like for any of the guitars I do, I want to do jazz the majority of the time. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I want to play kind of jazzy stuff, but I know a lot of people don't like that. People complain that you can either, well, not just with me, but like in YouTube in general, people complain it's like they'll play clean or they'll play basic country cowboy chords or they'll play just, you know, generic ass blues, you know. Even if they're like good riffs, it's very predictable. It is what it is. So I try to not do those three things as much. So I add a little bit of funk to the jazz chords, make it a little more interesting. Plus, I can't get people to stop calling me Cory Wong. It's getting ridiculous. I get at least 1 or 2 comments per day now. It used to happen once in a while, but now it's a daily thing where something about Cory Wong. Are you related to Cory Wong? Or, you know, just why does this guy think he's Cory Wong? Hey, guys, if I was going to pick a famous guitarist to be, God bless Cory Wong. I love Cory Wong. It would not be Cory Wong. It would not be Cory Wong. I would be more like I'd turn into I'd take all of Marty Friedman, all of his chops, for people that are alive. I would take Marty and Greg Koch. I would be a fusion of those two with a little bit of Phil X on top for the stage presence. Yeah, that's who I would steal. I wouldn't steal Cory Wong. Oh, they don't get me down, but it's amusing. I don't think I look that much like him. I got short hair. Is that it? I need to grow my hair back out. Do I really need to stop playing funk? I've been playing funk long before I ever heard Cory Wong. I grew up playing ska, third wave ska and reggae. So that kind of like helicopter stuff, second nature to me. I enjoy it. Found jazz guitar to be quite hard, but I'm not a very good guitar player. Well, that's a good way to get good at guitar. You should follow a YouTube channel called Jens Larson. That guy breaks jazz down very well. Also breaks down bossa nova, just really good grooves, gives you really good ideas and ways to think outside of the box without it being very generic and bland. He's a good teacher. He's somebody I would absolutely recommend that anybody check out, even if you're not into jazz guitar. He's very laid back old dude. Cool channel. Really cool channel. One of the only ones I watch when I do watch YouTube. So, all right, let's think of a poll. What's a good poll? Come on, we can do it. Same face, Wong guy. That's terrible. At least I didn't hit a Wong note. Who do you trust more? Okay. Poll question is up today. I think I know where this is going to land, but you never know. You don't know the answers unless you ask the question. So you guys make me proud the majority of the time. Although there's always a few outliers that make me say, what are you doing? Like some people voted no, that it wasn't creepy for 50-year-old men married with kids to be writing songs about the prom in high school. You guys, Jesus Christ, get it together. Ooh. All right. Cool. Let's see here. Yeah, but those prices, I didn't realize that the Player Pluses are $1,100, man. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And it's tough because, like, even if you go to Reverb, right? If we look up, you know, I got the thing. Where's the neither box? I'm not giving you a neither box, and I didn't give you a neither box on purpose, believe it or not, because I knew people like you would do this. You're a monster. All right, Reverb. Let's get this open, and then let's convert my OBS so you can see my screen. Desktop picture. Nope. There we go. Okay, so Fender Player Plus Stratocaster. Okay. So used, it looks like. There's a lot of people that are going to try and be sneaky here. Okay, I see what's going to happen. They're going to try and use the old players with the plus tops and pass them off as that. So let's just skip this. Let's go low to high, right? Which is the cheapest actual Player Plus? That might be it. That might be it at $899. That's just a regular player for $773. $926. Okay, so like that's one of the new colors, right? I think that's the cheapest one. So $881 plus $20 shipping plus sales tax. That's still almost $1,000, you guys. And obviously, I'm not sponsored, right? I'm not sponsored. I don't get deals from these places. So if I buy that guitar, even if I can resell this thing for $900, which is, I mean, this isn't selling right now. This is not selling at $900. But say I got to the gear page, right? And I sell this guitar for $900. I'm still in the whole $70 for demoing a guitar that I don't like. I wouldn't want to buy myself, right? It just makes it really difficult. But so many people have asked me about these, and so many people were asking me to compare with, you know, some of the Japanese stuff, because I favor the Japanese stuff. Yeah, those are the two cheapest ones. The 900, they're 900 for a plus, for a Stratocaster. As you could see from my watch list here. We were looking at this guy the other day. If you want a quality guitar, that's it. I just can't justify it because it's too similar to my 339. That guitar was built by hand. There was no CNC machine made. No CNC machine was used on that instrument. Oof. Gorgeous. All right, let's get out of there. So, just ordered my Harley Benton 3 after seeing it. Oh, that's awesome, man. Or lady. Which finish did you pick? Those are good guitars. Really good guitars. I have an embarrassing number of Epiphone guitars. I would say that entirely depends whether I would say that's embarrassing or not. Because there's a wide range of Epiphone guitars, where they were made, and price points and stuff like that. What would I consider embarrassing? I don't know. I don't think it's embarrassing to have any number of one brand of guitars. But if I had to guess out of the dark here, I'd say 10. You have 10 Epiphones. Let me know if I'm right. I just got a price $850 on the telly, out the door, no tax. Good call on the pink. Good call. The burgundy mist. Very good call. I think that looks better than the Daphne blue I got. But I figured more people would want to see the blue. Sometimes that's how I make decisions for this channel, believe it or not. Are the Player Plus pickups better than the American noiseless? I think they're the same thing, David. I think they're the same thing. I would need that guitar here for me to actually take the pick guard off. Now, wouldn't I? Because I don't think we're going to find it. I don't think if we actually look it up that anybody's selling like a loaded pick guard. But you know what? Yeah, what the hell. All right, let's turn Chrome back on. Cool. So, Player Plus pickups. Let's see if there's any. Because sometimes the Stratosphere will have these. Player, Namp. Let's go right to the good place. Player Plus. Let's just type in Player Plus and see what comes up. How much are these parts going for? Loaded Player Plus body in white is $500. You out of your mind? You out of your mind? Doesn't look. I am not very confident we're gonna find what we're looking for, but doesn't hurt to try. But I think, David, we're gonna need it here. Yeah, it's looking more and more like we're gonna need that guitar in person, and to take the pick guard off. You want to buy it and let me demo it? I'll do it. You buy it. I'll demo it. Vom.red. That's awesome. My first guitar was an Epiphone Dreadnought acoustic from a pack that was bought in the early 2000s. Sounded better than my friend's $500 acoustic guitars. You can get really lucky with some of those cheap ones. You want to know why that is? It's actually very interesting, and it's why some of the reasons why some people will get like Harley Bentons that they'll swear by. It's all luck of the draw. You see, when a place like Epiphone, when they're making their budget lines, they'll order all of the wood, right? Like say it's mahogany, for example. Say that they're going to be building guitars out of mahogany. Now, when Gibson builds their guitars out of mahogany, they're very selective on which pieces of mahogany get in to maintain a higher consistency. So when you buy in the bulk, you're going to get some pieces that are not so good, but you're going to get some great pieces. So you can actually, there's no way of knowing this until you get it in your hands, but you could actually get extremely lucky and get some of the good wood in a cheaper guitar of that lot. And that's why some people will swear by certain Squiers, certain Epiphones, certain throw-in brand name here of the lower cost. Got lucky. Don't get rid of it. Yeah, let them bot. I don't care. But I did tell you guys that if you were here early, I drove all the way to Cape Coral this morning and to buy a guitar. I bought a guitar. What do you guys think I bought? I'm not keeping this, by the way. I'm not keeping this. But I think it'll be very, very amusing for some people. And it's not an Epiphone or a Squier. Really, I shouldn't have had those two as my options, because the guitar I bought is neither an Epiphone nor a Squier. But it is a newer guitar. It is a newer guitar. And I basically just showed it to you. Hold on. The question is, how is this going to do against the Japanese Strat? What do you think? I got this guitar mint. Not a scratch on it. It's a brand new Player Plus. Well, not brand new. I got it from a guy. And the only reason the guy was selling it, the only reason he was selling it so cheap is because he got screwed and killed on his tax return. So he was willing to let it go for a marginal, very, very reasonable fee. So I said, I will be there. As soon as I drop my kid off from school, I will pick it up. So I'll be able to demo this guitar, sell it for cheaper than either of those prices that I showed you guys, and make a few bucks. So everybody wins. Plus, we get to demo it. I get to really break down this guitar. We can look at the exact pickups on it. When I look at them, they look the same as the American ones, with the staggered pulls and all that stuff. They're not the Sumerian Cobalt that you're going to find on the higher end American versions of it. I know that. But, I mean, this isn't going to happen often, but this is a scenario where everybody does win. Because the channel gets a guitar. I wouldn't have bought this guitar. And I just explained to you guys why I wouldn't have bought this guitar. As far as the finances of it. That's suicide. I can't keep operating in the red. But the fact that I got this guitar at a price that I'm going to be able to sell it to somebody cheaper than anywhere else they're going to be able to get it. And I'm going to get to demo it. We're going to do a whole breakdown of this guy. I'm going to try and do it today. It's just, I want it to be for tomorrow's video. I wasn't planning this though. I just saw it on Craigslist. I saw that it was way too cheap, and I was like, "Why is it so cheap?" And the guy's just like I told you, he got screwed on his taxes. And then once I did the math, even with shipping included, I mean, I'm not going to take a loss, and that to me is as good as it's going to be. So, I mean, I'll be able to sell this guitar. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is going to sell it for $850 flat, just like the same exact deal that Max got. Because if I do that, somebody gets a guitar for, well, with tax, 900 plus tax, that's $980. So $130 cheaper than if they were to buy it on Reverb. And this is mint. So, and it'll be a guitar, you know, they'll be like, oh, this guy demoed this guitar. I mean, it's me. I'm not an important person demoing a guitar. I'm not Greg Koch. But you know, they'll always have like kind of the reference point of the guitar from the video. So I think that'll be pretty cool. What do you guys think? Did I do a decent job? I gotta say, my wife and I were really impressed by this finish. I thought it was very, very nice. I'm not so sure I would buy this for myself, but I have to give them credit for trying something new. I think if I was going to do one of the bursts like this, or the fades, I would have gone with the blue one, but in person, this looks pretty decent. The neck is not as thin as I thought it was going to be, but it feels very, very flat, which makes sense because this is a 12-inch radius. This is Gibson radius. This is a Gibson radius on the guitar. Has locking tuners on it. No fret wear. This guy, he literally left it in the case. The gig bag. So, yeah, I said why not? And this is if you're gonna flip things, you're gonna do it. This is a scenario. This is a rare scenario where literally everybody wins. So, gotta take advantage if we can. So hopefully people enjoy this, and I will be as honest as I can be because you guys know I prefer Fender Japan by a wide margin. So it'll be interesting for me to take this guitar down. I'm going to actually use the calipers to measure the exact thickness of this neck because I haven't seen anybody give that information either. And then while the strings are off, we can take off the pick guard. We can check out the actual guts of this instrument. Like, we can do a lot with it. And then, you know, when I'm demoing it, it's going to have a brand new fresh set of strings on it because that's the only thing about this guitar. There's not a mark on it, but he played it with dirty fingers. So these strings are a little bit grimy. I don't really want to play this. I played it for about 5 minutes just to make sure that the sounds worked. Another thing that's interesting is this has a push. One of these is a push-pull. I don't know what it is, but it if you're in positions 1 or in position 2, it also mixes the neck pickup in with it. So, interesting. We'll be good. James, you're a psychopath. I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. All right. Yeah, so that's what I did this morning. That's the only way to do this, though. You have to be on top of everything. Whether you're looking at your local Craigslist, your Reverb listings, your Dave's Guitar Shop, whatever guitar shop you're looking at, you got to be there. You got to be there first. You got to have the money. You got to be willing to drive. You got to do all that stuff. This stuff isn't easy. And it really annoys me when people expect, kind of like me to like pass on all of like the savings I do as if what I did was nothing and easy. That's not how this works. If that's how this works, you try it. You try it. Let me know how easy it is to find all this stuff and be there at the right time. Cape Coral is it's over the bridge in North Fort Myers. It took me about 45 minutes to get there. Thoughts on Tokai guitars? They're some of the best guitars in the world, my friend, for the money. And the higher up you get with it, the craftsmanship, there's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. They make they made one of the 3 Les Pauls I've ever played was a Tokai. The best was the Navigator. And then I would say, I'm trying to decide between the Tokai and the third one, which is a Gibson. I played a Gibson that I thought was just that good. But those are the 3 best Les Paul style instruments I've ever played. They're such great guitars. They're such great guitars. And here's the other crazy thing. A lot of people say, Tokais are overpriced. Even if you go to eBay right now, right? I think it's the 136. Which I think that's the model of it. You can get brand new for like $1,400. What Gibson is beating that guitar? Even if you pay the whatever shipping and all that stuff, that's gonna smoke a classic in a few ways, because those aren't sweet. Those models, if I'm remembering the right one, I think it's the 136s. They don't have weight relief either, so you're gonna get a 59 spec neck. You're getting a nice top on it, decent pickups, Goto hardware, quality. The Les Paul Classic is Swiss cheese on the inside. That's part of the reason I didn't buy a Les Paul for so long, is because I wanted one that was lighter, but I also didn't want one that was cut up. I wanted a full non-weight relieved Gibson, because that's, to me, how those are the best ones. Personal preference. I've played a few Fuji gens. I played their Masterfield, the one that's sized as a 339, not the 335. Stupendous guitar, if you could find it at a decent price. Even in Japan, like if I wanted to buy one of those used, I'd get murdered. Because I think the last one I saw was listed for the equivalent of $1,300 American. Then I got to factor in $300. Actually, no, I have to factor in more than $300. An extra $70 for an oversized shipping, because those come in a decent hard shell case. And all hollow bodies that you buy from the majority of shops, they're going to charge you an upcharge for shipping. Just like if you buy a bass from Japan, you're going to run into that problem. Not with guitars, even though they're very similar sized. It's weird thresholds. But then I'd have to pay the tax. So the tax on top of that, I'm almost looking at $2,000. And unfortunately, as good as those guitars are, moving a guitar like that and then trying to make a few dollars on it after all the fees and the shipping, it's not worth it. I would only buy one of those Fuji gens if it was something I really wanted to keep. That's just me. If you're in the UK and new, that's great. In America, we're not allowed to not have nice things. America can't even make a proper Fender Mustang. You expect us to be allowed to have guitars like Fuji Gen at a reasonable cost? Although I do know there are some models of the Fuji Gen that you can buy new. I know Pitbull Audio, where I used to live in Chula Vista and San Diego, they carried some Fuji Gen stuff for a little while. I'm not sure if they still do, but it was available. But you guys got to remember trademarks, patents, all that fun stuff that you have to deal with, which is why we go out of our way to buy the Edwards, the Tokais, all that stuff, the Fender Japan stuff. I go out of my way to just buy it right from Japan. I get better products. They just make better stuff. And that 77 guitar is a joke, by the way. It's a joke. Like, sometimes it's like, I'll think something's a lot better than it is because I'm not expecting it to be that good. And that is the case. But then when I play it like a few days later, I'm like, it's still pretty good, but I'm not like blown away still. That guitar is a joke. How they built that guitar that well, that consistently, that cleanly, and the way it plays and it sounds, that guitar is just crazy good. Yeah, and the other problem with Tokais is everybody figured it out about it. Everybody knows now. And what else hurts people that are in the market for Tokais is the fact that new Gibsons are so goddamn expensive. Sorry for my language there, but it's true. Les Paul Standard is now $2,700 US. So the idea of getting something that's constructed the right way that also has really high-end craftsmanship to it, such as, a lot of these Japanese brands, becomes a lot more appealing to people because the headstock's not going to bother you as much. If you're saving that much money, it's not going to bother people nearly as much. So, unfortunately, because of that, the prices of those have been creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. Even the Orville by Gibson stuff. That stuff is a lot more expensive than even it was 2 months ago as a whole. The deals are still out there if you buy from Japan, but if you're buying in America, they're very, very overpriced. But paying to come by. For a Gibson Les Paul on a budget, would you get a tribute or a studio? You know what the big difference is between those two guitars, right? You're basically paying for the neck wood. You're getting a maple neck on the tribute versus mahogany neck on the studio. Now, there's pros and cons to both. When you buy a tribute, you're going to get a much lighter guitar. I had a black tribute right at the beginning of this channel. I didn't make a video on it, and it weighed 7 pounds on the dot. Very, very light guitar. Had a little bit of neck dive because of it, though. It wasn't balanced very well. I thought it sounded like a Les Paul. It felt good. Wasn't anything wrong with that, but the mahogany neck comes on the studios and up. That's a lot of what you're paying for. You're paying for that and then a nicer gloss finish on it. That's pretty much it. So if you want something that's more of a proper Les Paul, the studio, if you don't mind and you want something with a little bit lighter weight, tributes are just fine. They're just fine. Yeah, the electronics they are what they are. Did you see a bunch of Carvins in California? And how were they? Never seen them on the East Coast. I lived 15 minutes away from that factory. So at one point I did. They make really, really good stuff. And it's hard to really get the point across with Kiesel and Carvin because they do hand build stuff. And for the prices that they charge, it's outrageously good value. For hand built stuff, you go to a lot of these boutique builders, man, you ask for the same stuff, forget it. You're going to pay like twice as much. So they do a really good job with that. I don't know. They're a little more kind of aggressive for me. If that makes any sense. Like I have a line of aggressive style of body where I feel very awkward holding it. And I feel like I look like it looks wrong and it feels wrong. So it's just not for me. But even like some of their single cuts, I played a Carvin single cut that was a very, very good guitar and a steal at the price. It was like $1,200, and it smoked the majority of the Gibsons that were right around it. So they make good stuff. They make really good stuff. You just have to be patient. You have to be picky. But if you talk to them, they'll build you whatever the hell you want. They're really cool guys in that sense. Is your Florida house bigger than my San Diego house was? My San Diego house wasn't even as big as this room with the bathroom that's connected to this room included. And I tell no lies. Now, I also have a lanai. I have a whole backyard now. My backyard was about half the size of this room. And now I have a little lanai, a full backyard. We got 2 other bedrooms, a huge living room, kitchen, garage. I'd say it was a bit of an upgrade in terms of the space goes, and it was much cheaper. Yeah, they have a few of them. They absolutely have a few cool ones. I kind of like their Super Strat, Rafa. If I'm being honest with you, the Super Strat they make, I think is pretty cool. There's one YouTuber. God, I'm like the worst. I'm like the worst. I don't remember people's names. I don't like communicate with other people that do guitar YouTube. I talk to Dave. And I talk to you guys that do guitar YouTube that like ask me questions. I'll talk to you guys, but like I don't like reach out to any of these people. I don't collaborate with them. I can't think of this guy's name. That's the point of this. It's just like I can see his face. He's a very, very good guitar player. He plays like a lot of metal though. He's the guy that covered Fire in the Flames like really well. If you can help me with this, I'd appreciate it. But he used a purple, like a very, very deep purple Kiesel for that. I thought that was a very good looking instrument. And obviously it sounded very good. You can link whatever you want. I'll allow it. Vanya, you can link whatever you want. I mean, the only stuff that, I mean, it's going to flag it, but I'll allow it. I don't care. As long as you're not posting anything illegal, like what, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? So I will wait for that, and I will allow you to type any link you want, Vanya. I don't mind. I really don't mind. So did I surprise you guys with that Mexican guitar? I bet you, if I had given a list of 10 guitars and you had to guess, that's what I should have done. See, I don't think things through. If I had made a list of 10 guitars and I said, which one did I buy this morning? That would have gotten the least votes. I believe. Cole Rowland, the Flynn, yes, that guy, Cole Rowland. He played a purple Kiesel that I thought was a very, very visually good-looking instrument in that video. I remember seeing that. And I remember watching that, and I'm just like, man, like this all just looks like, it looks like nonsense. It's an amazing technical feat. I could never do that. But it's just like, it gets to the point where it really, it's just so over the top. It's like the double tapping, and then the fingering of like the tapping itself. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me know when you post it, because I have to have this open here so I can actually allow it. This thing tries to like block everything. Yeah, like it tried to block Max saying plug in that bitch. That's what it tried to block him from saying. I mean, with the amount of stuff that you can find on this platform, a word like that typed out, I don't think that should be a problem. I don't think it should be. Let me see if I can have a... I have never owned a headless guitar, nor will I ever own a headless guitar. I won't say I'll never demo a headless guitar, but I have no interest in those things. I have no interest in one. Just the weight of it, like the weight distribution of it is just, it's all screwed up to me. Feels very strange to play. Not a fan. Posted, but then why won't it? Well, then that's YouTube not letting you, because I'm sitting here waiting to approve anything, and it is telling me no. So let me go into my edit real quick, because I'd like you guys to be able to share information with each other. This stream contains paid promotion. No, it doesn't. Shut up. Leave me alone. Allow all comments. Yes. No, and sort by newest, not by top. You know, they want to turn everything into a freaking popularity contest. Everything on YouTube. Yeah. You know, I can tag people, also verified YouTube channels now. And they'll actually get a notification. Think you need to be a moderator to post links? All right, Vanya, I just made you a moderator. I don't care. I think the only other person I had as a moderator was Rowan. But Rowan's been very busy lately. I haven't seen him around as much. Or maybe he's just sick of me. It's possible. Because Rowan has been around since like I first started. Like he commented on like my second video that I ever made. And he just kind of hung around ever since. But Vanya, yeah, I made you a moderator. That means you can ban anybody that you don't like. Anybody pisses you off, you can get rid of them. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. No. Looks like I actually did a pretty good job of keeping up with you guys today. Aha! See, it works. It works. Now when Vanya posts it, it's all good. There you go. All right, I'm just going to leave you as a moderator, too. You're a regular. I don't care. See, everybody wins. Everybody's happy, right? It's not like we have enough people, like, and it's not like we have, like, bad people that come in here. So I don't really feel like there's a need for actual moderation on a regular basis, if that makes sense. But, yeah, there you go. We have a new moderator today. Congratulations. You are now less special than you were before. Here comes the dictator. Oh, God, don't say that. I think that word will get us flagged and banned. I don't want to be flagged and banned. I don't want to be flagged and banned. I'm careful about what I say on this thing, man. Kind of have to be. You can't even joke about some stuff anymore. You can't. Always making somebody mad. Let me check on the poll. We got 17 votes, and it's a close one. Squier is edging it out over Epiphone for who you guys trust more. I find that interesting, but it's what I predicted. I thought it would go that way. There we go. There we go. So what I should do is, see, if I had a Twitch chat, if I did Twitch, oh my God, I need like everybody that's in this chat to be a moderator. If I did Twitch, those people are degenerates. Any thoughts on good mod platforms to learn setup and switching out components? That is the exact guitar that we're going to be doing it to. We are going to be modifying the living hell out of that Harley Benton guitar, the TE62, in the surf green, mind you. That guitar. That's what we're going to be doing. I kind of want to break it down for people. I think I get a lot of usage out of it. First of all, you throw in, because pickups aren't expensive for a Telecaster. And I know where to find those things and not pay full retail. I've shown you guys before a bunch of places you can get that stuff. So we're going to try and do this on a budget, but without buying like crappy parts. Like we're going to put on full Goto tuners. I'm going to install a bone nut. I'm going to show you guys how to file a pre-slotted bone nut. So in case you're interested in upgrading that, because that'll upgrade any guitar that you have that doesn't already have a bone nut on it. We'll do the soldering work, all that fun stuff. I'll show you how to install an electrosocket jack on a Telecaster, because 99% of them don't come with it, and every Telecaster should come with it. So if nothing else, that's a mod that you should be doing, because then it'll take a right angle guitar cord, no problem. But it'll be a lot of fun. I did not do any mods to the Fusion 3. I did not do any mods to the Fusion 3. They're on back order now? That sucks. Are you dead set on that color? If you're not dead set on that color, I think Charcoal Frost, which I think is a very underrated color, but I think Charcoal Frost would look better with a rosewood fingerboard. That sucks. So, but yeah, any ideas that you guys want to have? Honestly, if I put a Bigsby on that Harley Benton, the Bigsby by itself is worth more than the guitar. By like double. So I just think it would be ridiculous to put like $600 on paper worth of parts onto a $140 Harley Benton, just for the sake of doing it. And you know what? Like, that's such a silly video and like a thoughtless video. And to me, it's something like dumb. But I guarantee that would do well. I guarantee a lot of people would watch it. Anytime I talk about Harley Benton, people eat it up. They eat it up. But yeah. But I am gonna modify that Telecaster, and it'll make more sense in the next few days. I told you guys I had one more guitar that I ordered from Japan And it did show up finally. I ordered it like 2 weeks before the end of 2021, and it just came. And unfortunately, in transit, it got damaged. And it's damage that definitely impacts resale. We'll say that. Guitar plays fine, but it definitely impacts resale. So what I'm going to do, the Sherwood Green Telecaster that I plan to modify, that's in mint condition, I'm now gonna sell that and then keep this other one instead, which you guys will see over the weekend. I already filmed that video, but that would have been tomorrow's upload. However, I got the Player Plus today, and I know that more people care about the Player Plus. So I might as well get it out there. And then maybe more people watch the video on the Japanese guitar that I'll post either Saturday or Sunday. We'll see. Do you know of any online classes or anything like that that will teach you how to perform maintenance on your guitar? Just go to YouTube and type in Stu Mac. The end. They have everything you could ever learn as far as a visual resource, and it is free. And they are the best. They are the pros. They're going to be pitching you their products the majority of the time. That's just, you have to know that going in, but they will teach you the proper ways to work on your instrument. I highly recommend Stuart McDonald. And that's where I get the majority of my parts from, Stu Mac. Great shop. They've gotten a little bit more expensive, but who hasn't right now? It's just kind of, you have to expect it, guys. You have to expect it. And I think that this is also another really good time to be demoing a $1,100 Mexican Fender. Because I can already tell you, I don't think it's worth $1,100. I would not pay $1,100 new for this guitar, having played it even just for the little bit that I've had. But I mean, that's the reality we're in right now. What I want to know is, how long is it going to be until the American Professional 2 hits $2,000? That's what I want to see. And how long before the Silver Sky's a $3,000 guitar? Oof. We're not heading in the right direction, and it's not going to correct anytime soon. I'm not an advocate to say buy, but I mean, if you have it and the right guitar comes up and you can get a good price on it, I don't know. If you need it, not if you just want to buy another guitar. If you need it, it's a good time. Because even amps have flown up in price. Like deluxe reverbs are $1,500 amps now. It's batshit crazy. It's way too much money. Because they're not even fully American made. They're assembled in America. It's like Friedman's. So, I feel like I talk too much about price and all that stuff. It's tough. You know, when you run a business, all this stuff it's like always on the back of my mind. It's always in the back of my mind. Something I have to do. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if that price increase in June is the one that takes it to where I said it was going to take it. I think you're going to see a $2,000, basically American standard. Or maybe $1,899. I am so happy. I'm so happy. Marcus, and Ian. Marcus, and now that Ian's in here. You guys. That Custom Shop Mustang. I don't think I can sell that. Not because it won't sell. I don't think I should. I paid barely more than actually no, I paid the same price as you would pay for an American original offset guitar for that Custom Shop Mustang. I don't think I should sell it. I think I should keep it and wait it out. Because the value, like, with the way that this is going, what's the point? Because what I really want to see, and this is only going to impact a few people. I won't stay on this too long. But when the custom shop guitars really start flying, like when a bass custom shop is starting to cost minimum like $5,500, like the base ones. We're not talking about anything fancy or limited runs or master builds, like the base ones. When those start costing $5,000 on a regular basis, that's going to be massive warning flags. I know I'm never going to find another one. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. But I mean, again, it comes to the crazy price. But the reason why it was like this is no brainer. I could buy that guitar and hold it as long as I need to hold it because there's none of them. You never see Custom Shop Mustangs for sale. I saw 2 rare ones pop up from a shop that were brand new. They're $5,000. And those are the only 2 that were made last year. So it's like, let me see. It still lives in its case. I think that guitar is still there. There's 2 of them. Yeah. They're $5,000 guitars. Those 2 Mustangs. One is Fire Mist. I will load it up. I'll show you guys. Okay. Boom. Okay. So we have this guy. This guy's a Fire Mist. This one has a racing stripe. Love the matching headstock. I actually like this. This is a very interesting color choice though, because this leads you, if you're a big Fender fan like I am, right? This reminds me much more, outside of the racing stripe, of a Music Master or a Duosonic. Really a Music Master, but just because of the white on the pickups, the pickup covers, the white switches, it's got that really kind of unique vibe to it, right? And this is like a one of one. Beautiful flame neck, just like mine. Matching headstock. Floor Traveler. I guarantee you, spec-wise, it's damn near what mine is. Yep. Same neck. Same radius. Same pickups. Different finish. Basically, that's what it is. So that's my guitar. There's only one other one of those, and it's in this white. Yep. So, point being, the one I have is an ocean turquoise, and it's mint, and there are none. They don't exist. They're unicorns. And when you look at how expensive, oof, $5,100 for that. I don't want to meet the guy that spends $5,100 on a Telecaster that looks like that, you guys. Jesus Christ. That's hideous. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, and then like Jaguars, let's see where those guys are sitting at right now before I wrap this up. Hey, that's my guitar. Oh, it's $4,000 for it. We did not pay for it. Put it straight on this, sir. Sir, that is a custom shop Jaguar. Put it on the stand correctly. Jesus, you have a death. Oh, this one's way more beat up than mine. Yeah, mine's in way better shape than this. Let's see. Let's go low to high. Yeah, that's the cheapest one. $4,000. Oh, nope. 38 on sale. That's a very nice finish. That's a very nice finish. Again, no matching headstock on it. But again, a little bit more beat up than I would like, if I'm honest with you guys. And that guitar's in Germany, so forget about it. You take that $3,800 plus the shipping, you're going to add in a hilarious import tax on that. So that's not really an option. Yeah, cheapest one in America is $4,000 for a Jag. So I feel like I stole those 2 custom shop guitars for what I paid for them. So why not just hold? Why not just hold? See what I'm saying? Let me catch up here. I'm so glad I got my guitars sorted out over the last few years and great deals on them. Yeah, Ian, that's right. That's right. If you're ahead of the game and you have what you have, just get parts to make sure you can maintain them. Strings, spare electronics, any sort of hardware that you might be considering upgrading to in the future. Just get that little stuff. You got the core. You got what you need right there as far as the actual instrument goes. We're taking the Jazzmaster next week to the Plek machine. We're driving all the way across the state. And I'm going to try and see how much they're going to let me film of it. They're really cool people. But we're going to get that Jazzmaster totally fixed and in tip-top condition. And I'll be playing that more on the channel. And I'm going to be using that guitar to go and play live with, which is really cool. because that's the guitar I started playing when I was playing out with my wife to begin with. So it'll be nice to be able to do that again. And it'll give me a reason to play it. Because at home, I'm never picking it over the Jag. Just being honest with you guys. All right. This has been fun. This has been a long one, a longer-ish one. I know sometimes they go short. Sometimes they go an hour, things like that. It all really depends on how engaged you guys are in the conversation. But if there's anything you guys would like to hit on, or anything you'd like to ask, or anything that you'd like to request as far as a video goes, or a topic or something like that going into this long weekend. I do have 2 videos. Like I said, we have the Player Plus, and then hopefully the Player Plus tomorrow. I'm going to have to really grind, and that's part of the reason I want to end this now, because I want to get started. I want to take the strings off it, and I want to get it on the bench and have a look at it. And then I have the other guitar, which is already filmed. I just have to edit it. So I'll have spot for 2 more videos, and we'll see how that goes. However, if you guys got nothing else, I won't keep you. I don't stay on for the sake of doing it. You know? Yeah, I got stuff to do. So I'll give you guys a minute to deliberate amongst yourselves. Otherwise, we're going to turn this guy off. And the winner of the poll was indeed, you guys trust Squier guitars more than you trust Epiphone guitars. Yes, well, that guitar is screwed. Like, that guitar has 2, legitimately bad frets. One of the frets, I think it's fret 14, is physically popping out and won't sit straight in the guitar. It actually came undone. So that needs to be reseated or replaced. And then, obviously, it needs a full level. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how that machine works and see it in person. They're telling me they're going to be in and out, done with this guitar in no time. And I'm like, oh, if you're going to have some extra time here, why throw some Lindy Fralin pickups in this Japanese 335? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I might do it. I might not do it. We have decisions to make. But I have all the parts. So I got to call them too. Oh, it's Thursday. I do got to call them because I'm going. They're only open a few days a week. Thank you, Nemanja. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. One of my favorite, well, most respected footballers was named Nemanja. Nemanja Vidic. And now there's a Nemanja Matic. Anytime, Jim. Jim the Jim. Well, they're not new Fralins, Ian. They're the ones that have been sitting in the closet. I haven't had a humbucker guitar to throw them into. Ever played a Jag Stang? No. No, I played one. I've never owned one. Very, very awkward guitar. I didn't like it. It's not for me. And I love offset guitars. That's probably my least favorite offset guitar. But in an effort to not stay on the negative, that's all I will say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. You will, very, very low chance you see me with one of those. Somebody would have to be selling that guitar locally for $500 cash for me to buy it. For a Mexican one. Milan. I support the real Milan. But I love the sport. I'm not one of those people that has like 50 clubs, if that makes any sense. Like, I have stuff from a bunch of different clubs, and there's clubs that like I'll follow. Like when it comes to like Spain, for example, between Barcelona and Real. I hate Barcelona. I hate everything about that club. So I'll always support Real. I have a few kits from Real. I had a Kaká kit when he transferred from Milan after he won Player of the Year. The Ballon d'Or. He was the last one to win the Ballon d'Or besides Messi and Ronaldo. So that was pretty cool. And then after that, Luka Modric, he won it, I think 2 years ago. But those two have just dominated. But yeah, I had a Kaká kit from Real Madrid. I have if you ever watch some of the videos, I have one of my older kits where the sponsor, the Buin, is just completely worn off from just years and years and years of usage and wear and tear. It is what it is. I have a Borussia Dortmund kind of track jacket I got in the Germany section of Disney World at Epcot Center when we took our daughter there when she was 1 year old. I was like, I'm getting something football related. And I was like, I like black and yellow, and I'm not buying Bayern Munich. So I decided to buy that. And there is no Spain section there. And the Italy section did not have much. They only had the actual national team stuff. So Real Madrid, good. I hate the way Atletico Madrid play. Very anti-football. But Mourinho played that way with Real Madrid. He did. But I don't play any fantasy sports. I don't have time for that crap. And I only say I don't have time for that crap because I would sit there and I would pick out my team, and then I would be that guy that sets it and forgets it for the entire year. And I'd have people every week that were injured, and I would just not change them because I just forget about it. So I wouldn't do that. Celtic, very good. Yeah, Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. They are the most ridiculously silky players. Now, I'm going to say something very controversial to you guys that watch football. I know not many of you do, especially the Americans. You won't know this. Everyone says Xavi and Iniesta. I would much rather have Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. That's just me. I don't even think it's controversial. I would much rather have those two. They do more. Spurs fan. That's a tough life. I feel for anybody that supports that club. Oh, that Ian. That's why you play the Blues. You support Spurs. I understand. And all that money you guys got from Gareth Bale, you peed it away. Eric Lamela. All sorts of players. You really wasted that. And then the Modric money is indeed. The Modric money didn't exactly go very far either. You've had talent, but you have an owner, Mr. Levy. All about that bottom line, my friends. All about that bottom line. But before I dabble too far into football, I will do a private stream with you guys that want to talk sports. If you want to do that, that's all we'll do. I go for days. I have so many hot takes. Yeah, Barcelona should be relegated. I hope that they get knocked out immediately out of the Europa League. Actually, that probably wouldn't be best, though, if you don't like them. It would be more embarrassing for them, but that means they could really focus on the league and salvage a top 4 finish, because they're not even guaranteed that. That team is shit and well deserved to be shit. Our chairman is a proper investor. Yeah. I'll take Milan all day. Not just from the 80s. The Milan team from the 80s, the Milan team from the 90s, and that Milan team from the late 2000s, I would also take. Oh, man. Football. That's it. Thank you guys for watching the stream. I got to try and do this Player Plus. I'm excited for it. And I know you guys, you look pretty interested in that. So we'll see. I'll be as honest as I can be, you guys. I'm not going to lie. I never lie with these things. I don't. There's no incentive for me to. Maybe I'll really like it. We'll see. Thanks for checking it out, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. I'm funny.